and especially we want to dedicate this to all the Hanzo mains out there.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Unit Lost. I am Stylosa and I am now a Hanzo main, ladies and gentlemen. I'm slightly gutted that I bought the golden gun for Soldier 76 just before this PTR patch came out. I would like a refund, Blizzard, and I'd like to buy a golden bow. Could you make that happen? That would be beautiful. Also, little disclaimer before we get into this video. The footage in the background is from my laptop because my PC, well, it exploded, but it's getting fixed, so don't worry about it. But it means I've had to get some footage from my laptop playing on the PTR, which means, well, it's not great because I'm playing on my laptop. It's not my PC. It's not what I'm used to. Because I'm actually pretty decent with Hanzo, and I do play a bit of Hanzo every now and again. Like, Hanzo's really, really strong, like, on attack, first point, King's Row. Oh, Hanzo can be beautiful. A lot of different points like that. It's actually okay. Hanamura first point as well. I like playing him there as well. Anyway, let's just quickly go over what the changes are on the PTR, because they're not that, like, they're not massive. They don't seem that massive, but let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, oh, they are massive. So, the first change is Hanzo can preload his arrow as he climbs. So what you can do is you can pull the arrow back, fully charge it, then climb the wall, and as soon as you start wall climbing, you can fire the arrow off. Now, this is a massive change because before, Hanzo couldn't do this. As soon as he climbed up the wall or initiated the wall climb, it suddenly stopped his charge on the bow, which means that he, well, has to pull his bow back to fire it off. So there is a delay. So when Hanzo jumps up the wall, he then pulls his bow back and fires it at you. You've got time there to react to Hanzo. Now, Hanzo can fire at you immediately. This means the absolute pro level Hanzo players, like if you look at like Raksu and people like that and all the other famous one-trick Hanzos out there, they do that anyway, but now they can do it faster. They can do it instantly. Like, they already climb up the wall and fire down, but now they'll be able to pre-charge and fire as soon as they hit the top of the wall. That is an absolutely huge change because it means you can do a lot of this sort of wall peeking stuff where you can climb up the wall and then fire, climb up the wall, fire, climb up the wall, fire, climb up, drop off, fire, charge your bow, climb up the wall as somebody's chasing you, turn around and fire. Like, there is a lot of times you can use this, and it is, honestly, it's really, really powerful. Now, the reason Blizzard have done this is to bring him more in line with Genji, because they've done this to Genji as well. This is to make them feel smoother to play, and it does achieve that. So Genji, as he wall climbs, he can immediately throw his shurikens at the end of the wall climb. I do think there is an issue at the moment, though, with Genji on the PTR. I think he can get extra slashes out of his Dragon Blade if he wall climbs or something ridiculous. I don't know, I'm not a Genji player, and Genji just confuses me to play anyway. I understand how he should be played, but I just cannot play Genji. It's kind of funny, really, when I try and play him. Anyway, Hanzo is the same, right? So when he wall climbs, he can fire. It makes for a smoother experience, and that is great. It makes Hanzo play much more fluid. The big one, though, is, well, this is Hanzo's draw speed. He can now fire fully charged arrows 10% faster. Now, it's only 10%, right? So people out there are probably thinking, well, that's only like a 10% increase in his potential DPS, maybe. But actually, it's not, because you think about how Hanzo functions, right? How does Hanzo kill you, right? He gets you in the head with the arrow most of the time, right? Or he kills you with the scatter arrow. So when he's firing arrows down into choke points, which is what you do with Hanzo a lot of the time, right? You are aiming at people, but you sort of have to flick the arrows in, predicting where they're going to go. Like, it's very difficult to play Hanzo. This is why a lot of people do go off against Hanzo mains, or when they see Hanzo on their team, because it's like, can't you just play somebody else? And it's a viable argument. Like, why would you take the Hanzo if you could take somebody else who's going to do more DPS, like maybe a soldier, like more consistent DPS? The thing with Hanzo is he lands a headshot, he kills those 200 HP heroes instantly. I think he kills 250 HP heroes as well, but he can remove people from play instantly, which is very powerful. So by giving him the ability to charge his arrows up 10% faster means he's got more chance of removing these people from play. So when I say it doesn't necessarily increase his DPS by 10%, yes, but it does on paper, don't get me wrong, but what it does is it makes him more powerful for instantly removing enemy players very quickly. It also means that if you are engaged in a fight with a Hanzo and he's firing through that choke point at you, like you look at the tunnels which go into the final point on Eichenwald, or even just the first point on Eichenwald, or anywhere where there's a choke, Hanzo fires his arrows, don't he? You generally just fire your arrows through. You are hoping that you hit somebody, but you're firing where people are. It's not like you're just randomly firing arrows off and hoping for the best. Now you can do that more often. So this means Hanzo can lay down more DPS, and in my eyes, it's way more than 10%. This makes Hanzo much more deadly. Does this make Hanzo a top tier pick instantly? based off what I've played on the PTR, he just feels much better to play. He puts out more DPS. It feels to me like you could just take the Hanzo in more situations now. It feels more like I feel more viable myself playing him, right? I don't feel like, oh, I should be on Soldier, or oh, I should be on some other hero. I mean, at the end of the day, you can play whatever heroes you like. That doesn't really matter. But the thing with the Hanzo is, with the increased speed on firing a fully charged arrow, this means we can remove more players from the game faster. It also means we can increase our volume of fire going straight down into these choke points, which makes Hanzo, well, it just makes him better. Like, this is a straight up really good buff to Hanzo, and he's much more enjoyable to play as a result. So is this OP? This is the other part of the argument. Like, I don't think it's OP. Like, a lot of this stuff is going to be hard to tell because we need to take Hanzo onto live servers and play in proper team comps. If you follow me on Twitter, guys, which if you don't, it's @UnitLostGaming, I put a very funny little video out. It's an unlisted video on the YouTube channel showing you what it's like when you play in the PTR. It is very, let's just say it's very unbalanced, but also people just like to be silly on the PTR, especially when they see Stylosa in the game. Like, they'll run around just waving at each other, and it's like, it's hard to test. Like, what you need to do is be able to play it in a competitive environment, and the only way we're going to be able to do that is when it hits the live servers, which, I mean, I honestly, when we look at the history of Overwatch updates that have been on the PTR, pretty much all of them go through onto live because they've got no way of gathering correct information. All I can do is use my experience as an Overwatch player to sort of apply, like, logic to it and say, how is this going to work, and then commentate on that. Of course, we can be wrong from time to time. Most of the time, we're generally right. I mean, you look at the Bastion changes. They were the worst thing ever, and for some reason they made it to live when they really shouldn't have done it. It was quite clear that was going to be OP, and then that did get nerfed pretty quick. But in terms of Hanzo, I don't think Hanzo is massively OP, because what this doesn't do is it doesn't go, oh, Hanzo, suddenly you're doing a massive load more damage, you're massively more viable, you're going straight to the top of the tier pick list. Like, it's not like being elevated to a level of like a Soldier, for example, or a Tracer, or even a Genji, you could argue. Instead, it's making him better at what he does, and that is being Hanzo. And I think I'm cool with that, guys. Like, I don't really have an issue with that. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Once again, I apologise for the quality of the footage in the background. It is horrifically bad. It's because if I could show you a picture of my setup, well, I don't want to, because frankly I'm embarrassed because there's cables everywhere, but I've got a really small laptop screen in front of me, got my keyboard and mouse plugged into it, the sensitivity's all gone to whack. It's terrible. Anyway, guys, I'm Stylosa, this is Unit Lost, and I'm going away now to go and fix my PC because it is, well, it needs to be fixed. It is in a bad state. And yeah, you can follow me on Twitter, which is @UnitLostGaming. Let me know what you think about Hanzo, if you're a Hanzo main. Is this long overdue? Do you like the change? I mean, I guess you will, because I don't know anybody who doesn't like the change as a Hanzo main. And I will catch you on the next one, guys. Toodaloo.